Welcome to Critical Weight Theory. In this episode, I'm spotlighting one of the greatest voices in American opera history, a woman who defied expectations, shattered barriers, and redefined what it meant to take the stage. This is the story of Shirley Verrett. And I do have to say right up front that I'm not the biggest opera listener, so I'm not claiming to be an expert, but I have gathered notes on what is a historical figure in music. So, born in New Orleans in 1931 and raised in Los Angeles in a strict Seventh day Adventist household, Shirley Verrett grew up with a voice destined for greatness, but a family that apparently didn't want her to use it. They opposed her dream of becoming a singer, but dreams, when paired with talent and relentless determination, don't go quietly. Verrett pursued her passion anyway, eventually earning a spot at the prestigious Juilliard School in New York. And that decision changed the face of opera. So her career took off in the 1960s with performances at the world's most elite stages: London's Royal Opera House, La Scala in Milan, and of course the Metropolitan Opera in New York. But what set Verrett apart wasn't just where she sang, it was how she sang. She began her career as a mezzo soprano, so think sultry, dark, complex roles like Carmen, but she didn't stop there. Verrett had the rare ability to transition into soprano roles, tackling powerhouse parts like Tosca, Lady Macbeth, and even Beethoven's Leonore and Fidelio. So that kind of vocal versatility was almost unheard of. So it wasn't just the fact that she was not a white singer, she also had, a very significant ability in terms of her vocal delivery. I guess I'll phrase it like that. So Vera was more than a voice, she was a force, a black woman dominating a field that was still steeped in racial prejudice. She wasn't just cast, she claimed the stage. She became one of the first black singers to headline at opera houses that had, for far too long, excluded artists like herself. Her presence wasn't just symbolic, it was seismic, and it really was a bold thing that she was able to achieve. And yet, the work of breaking barriers wasn't just about applause and standing ovations. In 1990, she surprised audiences again by stepping into musical theater, playing Nettie in the Broadway revival of Carousel, and it was a hit. So she had different avenues of music that she pursued. And later in life, she returned to her roots, not on the stage, but the classroom. Verrett became a professor of voice at the University of Michigan, passing her wisdom to the next generation of singers. And her legacy continues there today through the Shirley Verrett Award established in 2011. It honors faculty who support women of color in the arts. In her memoir, titled I Never Walked Alone, Verrett lays out the struggles that she endured and the victories that she earned. It's not just a story of a career, it's the story of survival, transformation, and her impact. So, there was her TV performance in 1978 opposite Luciano Pavarotti. That was a highlight of her career. She also had a classic debut at New York City Opera in 1958 and Lost in the Stars, her Desdemona in Otello in 1981, and the honorary doctorate she received from Juilliard in 2002, those are all some of the achievements that we can say made her a one of a kind performer. So Shirley Verrett didn't just sing, she created a new space for anyone who wanted to follow in her footsteps. She demanded respect, and she earned it with every note, every role, and every performance. A true trailblazer, a teacher, and a powerhouse, Shirley Verrett was and remains one of the most important artists in American opera history. So, thanks for listening. If you like this episode, share it. You can subscribe, hit a like button, and all that kind of stuff. And if you want more stories about voices that change the world, follow and stay tuned, and go ahead and let me know about anyone that you would like me to highlight. Maybe I'll add them to the list. All right, have a wonderful day.